Three, two, one. What's up, Zaid?
Hello.
Dude, I'm excited to have you on here.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about stuff.
What do you want to talk
Thanks for
about?
having me.
Dude, so number one in NorCal, how do you feel about that?
It's cool,
It's cool?
but it is what it is.
Yeah.
The two of the trifecta have been sort of chilling from Melee for a bit, although they go to majors and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I had a couple pretty good tournaments. So
Pew Pew, does he still stream?
yeah, he streams like not insanely often, but like pretty often. Like
Oh,
it'll be
okay.
random.
And does he play Melee on stream, or does he do other stuff?
Yeah, usually it's melee, and he
Okay.
does some sort of like picking random characters or
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So he still plays
yeah.
a lot. And then, but does Dewan play, or is he busy with work?
He plays, but he practices just with net playing like Mango and
Oh, okay.
other people.
So they just don't go to locals, that's it.
Yeah, they're still on the grind, or maybe they just sorta on the grind. They're like
Okay.
net playing, and they'll go to majors. I'm not
Okay.
too sure about that.
So you didn't really have a lot of head-to-heads with them besides that one time at Dewan?
Yeah. I had one with Dewan, and he beat me 3-2, 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely one of my problem matchups in the Sheik Ditto.
Sheik Ditto?
But,
Yeah, that sounds rough. I mean, how
yeah.
you chain grab Dewan, right?
Yeah, he chain grabbed me too.
Okay, nice. Yeah, you're not a chain grab off kind of guy.
Yeah, just do what's in the game.
Exactly. That said, how do you feel about wobbling nowadays? Do you think it should be banned or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, I really don't think so because like I don't know. It's just a matter. I think it's like it's been super inflated how people's feelings get in the way. But it's like imagine if when a wobble was started, you just died immediately. Like as soon as like do dee, and then it's just they just
Right,
explode.
like a
Like
rest, like you just die.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I really like, and people's main argument is, oh, rest is high risk and high reward, but wobbling is low risk and high reward, and it's like,
I mean,
okay,
picking
that,
ice
that
climbers.
that's still that still doesn't break the game, and also like yeah, ICs aren't like you could play in such a way that it's like even if it's low risk high reward, they can't get it.
Well,
And
going back to the feelings thing, because I mean, we've known for forever, ever since wobbling was brought to the tournament scene, that like it's lame, quote unquote lame. It's just the feelings that people get when they get grabbed. Um, it's a spirit of the game type thing is why people want to ban it. But we know it's not broken. We've always known.
yeah, and also the spectator argument is valid though. Like
Yeah.
imagine if like Leffen went Puff versus HBox and did really well,
Uh-huh.
and they started doing Puff dittos, and they both were the only grinders left. Maybe like Mango just started streaming more.
Uh-huh.
Imagine if that world happened, then like we'd have Puff. Like I'm pretty sure Melee would take a big hit.
Yeah.
Like as much as you want to say like we love Melee and all, like if it's just we have no money, and
Yeah.
also on top of that, all our tournaments like finals are gonna be Puff dittos.
Yeah. And I was talking to Ryan in the last podcast about how, like in basketball, they change the rules all the time just so that the spectators can have more fun.
Yeah, the spectator argument is valid, and like the thing, but wobbling, like if we lived in a world where we were allowed to mod the game to our heart's content, maybe you could. I wouldn't say like you would die immediately, but maybe if the player like holds D-pad down, they'll explode or something. If they can like choose to kill their stuff, something like that.
That would be
Although now,
hilarious.
right now we have pausing, where we pause
Right.
and they let us run off.
I mean,
But,
Hax has that thing where he just patch wobbling out. I don't even know how the mechanic
yeah,
works.
Yeah, he patched wobbling.
I would rather the instant death than to patch wobbling out.
Yeah, because what does that do with doubles? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't bother doubles. I'm sure Hax is always so meticulous. Stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I
It probably
imagine
works.
He thought of every edge case.
I don't even know if they have ICs players up there.
They definitely have like some.
Yeah, there's always some.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Kevin and Dewan haven't gone to locals. I don't know. What do you think though? I mean, Dewan. I mean, they're still obviously amazing.
Yeah, and they're still trying. It's not like they're like I'm completely letting go of Melee. They're still trying to get better and stuff like that.
Yeah. Have
It's
you?
just a matter. Wait, what?
Go ahead.
It's just a matter of like me being number one is just because like I had some really good tournaments and Kevin and Dwan had some pretty bad losses. Kevin
Right,
lost
right.
to like Meds and Dwan lost to Lad or something like that.
I don't know. Lad? Who's Lad?
I don't know. I think it's a Fox player.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, and then, uh, oh, have you played with Kevin at all? Like in any doubles or like any net play
Uh,
sessions?
Actually, not too often in recent times, but I haven't asked him really too
Oh, okay.
often.
Because
Yeah.
that's a match I'm pretty interested in. I mean, this is me coming from a fan and spectator perspective now. You know.
I think the last time I net played him was in like, what was it? There was a big tournament. It was Shine, yeah, right the week before Shine, because Kevin had like 3 Sheiks to play, and we played
Mm.
Marth Sheik for like 2 hours.
Oh, cool.
And I'm pretty sure I won at least half of them. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, so that's that. But also he goes Fox sometimes versus Sheik, so
Right, right.
it is what it is.
Well, they're both amazing, and I think now that I mean you are ranked number one, and it sounds like, I mean, and I've always known this about you. It's not that you care that much. I mean, it's cool. The recognition's great, and I'm sure you're happy about it. But like for
Hmm.
you, it's always been about improving.
Yeah,
You know.
I think that's I think for any facet of life, the people who care more about the content itself rather than the external, I don't know, the recognition and whatever comes along with that. I think in any facet of life, the people who care more about the craft and are more focused on that will tend to do better because because they really genuinely like what it is they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
James mentioned in the podcast with him, he bought Daigo's book about the will to keep winning. I haven't
Mhm.
read it, but he said the idea of getting one win and the idea of the will to keep winning are almost like opposed.
Complete opposites.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people who won't name names, but like I've heard a lot of people the way they talk, they're like, "Oh man, I just need one win." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just need one. I need that one win. So people will look at me, and I'm like, "Oh no, dude, this is not gonna give you happiness even if you get it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually the losses that get you there, you know. It's cause those are the ones. I mean, you don't really look at your wins most of the time, right? When you do VOD review, do you ever look at your wins?
Uh, I guess it's not VOD review. It's more like just be like, "Yeah."
Right,
So,
right, right. It's
yeah,
just like,
all
dude,
of
I
it,
did
yeah.
that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Mm.
when you do actually want to improve, it's more productive to look at the losses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. Mm-hmm.
Is that what you do with Sammy? I mean, Sammy, you and the Sammy, this whole
Yeah.
Sammy lesson world is a big secret to me. I don't know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do a
I
lot of
have one.
people?
I have a lesson happening today at 2 or not
Uh huh.
1,
Hmm.
and you can actually just listen in on the lesson. You go to the Discord, and then
Oh, really?
you're restricted from talking because
Hmm.
that's they have it set to that. But
Hmm.
you can just listen in. And
Oh, so they're always public? I mean, at least for the Discord.
I believe the Discord is public. You might need to be part of the Patreon, or you might not.
Oh, that makes
I don't
sense.
I don't think you do. But yeah, it's also only $5, and you get to see all of the lessons on YouTube recorded. That's pretty cool.
$5 for the Patreon.
Yeah, and then you get to see everything. So
How much is the lesson, if you don't mind me asking? I mean,
uh,
Sammy's prices public?
yeah, I believe so. Like
Yeah.
he normalized the prices. I used to have like sort of a discount before,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's all the same no matter what, and it's cheaper the more if you buy in bulk. But I switched to 2 lessons just because I have a hectic schedule. But I might switch back to 4 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I'm at $80 a month for basically
Mm-hmm.
2 hours a month, and then it would be 140 for 4.
So it's about 40 an hour, for the 2 lessons.
Yeah, and then if
That's
you
actually
do
pretty
4
good.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's really worth it because when I hear him talk, I'm like, this is the kind of lesson I need. Because everybody else, when I hear you talk about melee, good or not at the game, they don't really know how to articulate stuff, or it feels like they're a little bit off with what they're saying.
Right, right. That makes sense.
Yeah, even myself, I feel like I'll say wrong stuff, but Sammy's on another level.
Yeah. From what I heard, I mean, I still remember I was at, I think it was Evo 2013 or something. This was before he retired, where he like almost beat Mango or something, and I was like, dude, where'd this guy come from? And he was just like, this was the early days of like Sheik's getting better at tick
Oh,
chasing.
yeah. I remember I watched I watched his Sheik versus Leffen at Evo like 100 times or whatever.
Oh, really?
It's like it's just so fun to watch. I'm really sad that he lost that, but
Yeah.
His Marth was kind of icky on
Yeah.
the D.
So I mean, I guess for me to find out, I would have to go there and listen in. Maybe pay. Maybe get on his Patreon. But what is it like for you? Like how many? I mean, how long have you been going to Sammy for lessons?
I want to say like at least a year, if not more, maybe a
Oh
year and
wow.
a half. Yeah, it's been weird because like a lot of the time, um, I'm I'm like not too good at organizing my time and like practicing what I should practice rather than just playing that play way too much.
Mhm.
So this helps me because at least I'm forced to do something, and on top of that, Sammy's insight would be better than my own.
Mhm.
So it's kind of crazy. It's like I'm being productive, and it doesn't feel like it. You know,
I see.
it doesn't feel like it doesn't require too much effort on my part. But and I've improved automatically because of it. Honestly,
That's
it's
crazy. I mean,
yeah. He's just
essentially, you're getting someone to do a lot of thinking for you in a way.
yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Like a lot of the time, like I will analyze and work so hard to be like, why am I losing? But I just can't really figure it out. And
Mhm.
then like he'll say something like, "Hey, right here, just do like back air," and I'm like, "Oh!" And then I just every time I'm in that edge guard, they just kill him, and I'm like, "Well, I got better, but it doesn't feel like I did."
Right, right. It was just an idea that you couldn't come up with yourself. Uh,
Yeah, stuff like that.
so I mean, I really like that idea. I mean, that's the whole point of a coach, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you get what you pay for, and Sammy is just really good at finding those ideas that other people. I mean, you know what? Rishi's actually doing a great job. Do you watch Rishi's YouTube channel?
I've only seen the meme videos.
Oh, okay. He has some really good ones about like, I mean, he does a lot of ultimate content now, but like,
Hmm.
he did one on like how to choose a main, which was really good. Talked to Ryan about this a bit. How like the main kind of chooses you, like the way you play can be best expressed with a certain character sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I should
I
watch
mean,
some.
it can go either way. Like sometimes you could pick a character and want to express yourself a certain way, but usually the character you pick that's the best for you is the one that like kind of fits the way you make decisions.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I'm not sure if like I pick Sheik or I pick Sheik just because I did well with her, just because she's broken at a casual level with no wave dashing involved.
Right.
And so I'm not sure if my playstyle. I know all my characters are very Sheiky, but I
Hmm.
don't know if that's just because I played Sheik more than any other character. But
I
like,
mean that makes
yeah.
sense. I mean a lot of people after Mango switch off Puff would say Mango's just playing Puff with other characters. You know.
Yeah.
So obviously your first main would affect the other characters you play.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still think Sheik is number one?
Yeah, I think like I think she beats Ices, and I think she at least goes even with Fox and Puff. So,
Okay.
but the Puff matchup is sort of like Falcon, where you need to be absurdly disciplined and you need to follow rules very well.
Right. Right.
Hmm. Yeah, Falcon
Um.
versus Puff is similar in that way. And so
Yeah.
actually, Sheik versus Ices is also similar. You have to follow rules a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's really interesting that you call them rules because obviously, I mean, there's just stuff you don't want to do. You know.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like I feel like some things are borderline rules because like the risk reward is just so trash that like you
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
want to do them.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like to be silly, and in my opinion, they're silly when they're like, there's always exceptions. You don't want to follow rules, but it's like,
Right.
I mean, yeah, you
Well,
kind of
yeah. I mean, it's
do.
it's it's like you said, it's risk reward. Like in chess, they call them chess principles, where
Hmm.
generally you never want to break those, but at the top level, sometimes someone will do something that's like, oh snap, I wasn't prepared for that, and it like
Yeah,
leads into
yeah,
another strategy or something like that.
yeah. Everything has exceptions, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't you shouldn't
It's
like
like
learn from
nine
these rules a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a probability thing. Like 95% of the time you shouldn't do this.
Yeah, actually, even I feel like the masters of their of people's crafts always say like, at the end when you finally master it all, then you learn when to break the rules. Like
Yeah.
I've heard Kevin and Zach say like, once you learn all the doubles rules, then you finally learn that one time that you're supposed to break the rule.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when I play against ICs a lot of the time, like I'll be like, wait a minute, what if I did F tilt here? And then it will like kill them. And I'm like, yeah, in this specific scenario, F tilt's a really good launcher, and I've been not doing F tilt the whole game. So then I do it, and then there it is.
I have a question. I'm gonna test your percents if you know this. Do you
Okay.
know when Sheik's F tilt will break Ice Climber's crouch cancel?
Break crouch cancel, like
Yeah.
it's super high actually.
Oh
It's
really?
actually
Is it like past
absurdly high.
100?
Yeah, yeah. It's a matter of breaking ASDI down rather, because when ICs are wave dashing, they can't crouch. They can only ASDI down. So that's more important. I believe it's like above anything above like 25.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
So 25 you'll break ASDI down.
Yeah, pretty sure. Or they won't be able to punish you, I believe.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, it might
That's
not
good.
lead into anything juicy, but it'll be like, all right, F tilt, and then they'll get popped up. Yeah. And then you could
So
probably set up a fair.
I have a
And
question.
shit.
Have you looked at your bracket at all for Genesis?
Yeah. I have to play. I just got back from Arizona this
Mm-hmm.
weekend, and I played against this guy. The guy I have to play in Genesis, I played with him for like 3 hours.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah, and he's actually insane. He's a Marth player named Deft,
Deft.
and Sheik is notoriously good against Marth, but like this guy is really good. He apparently 2-0'd Nut at Smash Camp.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And I was very surprised that to see like a Marth player I've never heard of be. I've heard his name, but I've never really like seen him play and stuff like that. And he is just insane at the matchup. I think in some aspects he was definitely better than Ty
Versus Sheik.
versus Sheik. Because like I mean I believe Ty's lost to Nut before and
Mm-hmm.
Deft 2-0'd him. So I guess that's the proof right there. I think Ty might be probably better at some things. But yeah, this guy's really good, and I have to play him really soon in the bracket, so I'm a little worried about that. But I don't want to ask for a change. Like I feel like that's not worth
Yeah, I mean he's
the
still
request.
he's still a
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah,
region. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that would be BM.
Yeah.
And low key, I feel like it's karma whenever you ask for a bracket change that you know deep down that you don't have to change the bracket, but then you request the change. I feel like it's karma, and then they give you a Jigglypuff player.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, I deserve that.
Do you ever look like deeper in the bracket, like your bracket path?
Yeah, yeah, I always do it because more info the better. And
Yeah, I feel it.
yeah,
How do you feel?
I
I
don't
mean, some people
understand.
don't like to look at brackets. I don't.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't really understand. Like, I think it's just because they don't want to get shaken up by like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
I
happens
talk
to
about
me.
this thing, I play this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I feel like as long as you're, some people don't work hard. Like, I'll be honest, a lot of these top players like don't work at all. So I think it might be wise to not look at your bracket because like you're not gonna prepare either way. But
I
I
see.
feel like I'll prepare at least a little bit for stuff if I look ahead. So like, I take no disadvantage from. I feel like there's only stuff to gain for me from looking. So after
Okay.
Deft, if I win, I play La Luna, another Marth. So I know I know what matchup I need to work on, and
Right. Right.
yeah, I'm projected to be La Luna, but last time we played was a money match like 1.5 years ago, and I lost 3-1.
Right.
So I know Luna's really good. So I'm just gonna do my best. If
Yeah.
I win that, I play against S2J, who I beat at DreamHack Atlanta.
hmm
But
How was that set? Was it close?
it was 3-1 in my favor. I think like obviously like a lot of things came down to just a few interactions and some unfortunate things happened to him. But at the same time, I think there was one fundamental thing that like he did wrong, where because he was so used to it being so juicy for him, he
Mhm.
would just like he would crouch cancel me,
Mhm.
and then he would punish with gentleman, and then I would just
Ah,
hold down on his gentleman, grab him, and then wobble him. But he
that
should be
makes
CC
sense.
grabbing like NMW does a lot, and
Yeah.
he would get the true punish, but he would punish with gentleman because if they don't hold down, it sets up for a tech chase, and they'll probably either miss the tech, or maybe even take him place and get need.
hmm
But so like he would do that a lot, but then I would just hold down on it. I feel like if he just adapted to that, things would a lot of interactions would have not been in my favor. But I did win
Wow.
3-1, and I think I positioned myself really well, and my tech chases were really. I feel like they were really well done because like on the miss tech I would go for crouch a lot, and I was pretty good at it.
hmm
But at some percents I knew that I could just up tilt or F tilt and then fine, or down smash near the ledge.
If
And
you
so I went
crouch,
for that too.
sorry, if you crouch, that does that mean you have to react to get up
Yeah,
attack?
you have to react to everything. So if they
Uh,
do regular get up, you jump, cancel, grab. If they do get up attack, you dash out of crouch, jump, cancel, grab. If
mm,
they do roll away, you dash, boost, grab, and if they roll in, you do dash back out of crouch,
mm.
grab. So I just did that, and yeah, I think it went well. I think he has sort of a Sheik problem, lost to over Triforce, lost to net, but he's definitely been working on it. He's
Mm.
net playing all the Sheik. I think he's been net playing Dewan probably. But yeah, so I'm gonna try my best to prepare for him too. If I win that, I play Zane,
Another
and
Marth.
yeah, another Marth, and this is already like pretty.
That's pretty deep. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
this is
yeah.
pretty deep. I mean, there's a very good chance that I won't get this far. But uh, and then Zane, like if I'm practicing Marth already, I have an alright shot. I played him before, and I think there was a game where I believe I would have won if I didn't kill myself really early. But and so I think it's doable.
You know what, Zaid? I
Hmm?
think you have a chance. You know why?
What?
Because
Because you're the Zane Slayer.
yeah.
And
Well,
I'm the Zane Slayer.
yeah. Well, the whole story is that when I prepared for Marth, I beat Zane.
Yeah.
Zane is Marth, basically. At this point, you could say that. You know, it's
Yeah.
just he is Marth. I mean, Rishi did the video, one of his Rishi's videos. He talked about how Mewtwo style kind of capped out because no matter how long he played, he would kind of still go for kind of gambly 50-50s or random F smashes,
Mm-hmm.
and he likes to force those situations.
Yeah,
Whereas,
it's not very Marthy.
yeah, whereas Zane would, kind of grind out situations and try to go for the clean, less risky plays all the time, and it took a little bit longer, but he got to the top level with a cleaner.
Yeah, it's very like textbook, I suppose, if there
Yeah.
was a textbook.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not that he doesn't ever go for some wild plays. I mean, he's kind of notorious for just randomly ledge canceling,
Yeah.
I mean, they're usually good ledge cancels. They make sense, but sometimes he just goes kind of wild. But anyway, Zane, it's just a clean Marth, and I think if you practice Marth, you got a chance.
Yeah, I'll do my best. And
Yeah.
if I beat all these people, including Zane, then I play Axe for the run back. I played him 2 sets this weekend in Arizona. He won 6-1, but there are 2 games I believe were last hit, and one of them I just killed myself trying to ledge dash. Yeah, so I believe it's pretty doable, and I studied a couple VODs and got advice from Swedish on Pikachu beforehand, and it did help. And I think with these sets, I don't know if I'll have time to analyze them, but because I just played them, I think I'll be able to like take stuff
Right.
from the plane. So
Have you looked at him yet?
no, I haven't watched them, but yeah. So if I beat all these people, X, Sheik is good against Pikachu at the end of the day, and I got 7, and so I think it is possible to get top 8. I'm not saying it's probable.
Oh, so that's just the path to top 8. You got to beat
Yeah,
Axe.
if I beat all these people, I get top 8 winners, and that would be the dream. Because it is possible. I've beaten, I can beat Deft and La Luna, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be hard, but yeah, and I've beaten Esther J before.
Mm-hmm.
Zane is really good, and I've played him before, but it did feel possible to me even like half a year ago. Then and I've also had a Sammy lesson of my match against Zane, and he was like, "What if you just did this? You would have just farmed him." And I was like, "Oh,
Ah, I see.
so
That's cool.
yeah. So it is possible, and then if I just win Sheik vs Pikachu, then it could be the dream tournament. Not saying it will be, but watch me lose to Deft.
I know, right? Well, yeah. I mean, you always want to think of the best possible scenario.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always viewing like what could happen, but
Yeah.
I'm not looking ahead. Like I already know, like I could definitely lose to any of these people.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I mean, some people on Twitter have been talking about the year has already had some really weird upsets.
Oh shit, the new rankings came out. One sec. Am I here? Hope not.
PGR. What numbers is it now?
Yeah, I'm not here. It was 40 to 31.
Okay, so you're at least top 30.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice. What were you saying?
Oh, I was talking about how on Twitter people are talking about how 2020 has already had some wild upsets. People are just getting really good. People
Mm-hmm.
like Scythe or Scythe.
Yeah, I actually played him a lot in friendlies like yesterday,
What
dude.
character is he?
Falcon.
Nice.
He beat X in winners.
That's wild.
He's played so many sets with him. He really has a handle on that matchup. He went Falcon or game two. He won game one
Mm.
against Pikachu. Then Axe took him to FD, and so he switched to Mario, who can chain grab Pikachu. And then
Oh.
Axe instead went Young Link and lost to his Mario.
That's the Mango Classic.
And then game three, Axe went back to Pikachu and beat the Mario.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just Falcon Pikachu for the rest of the set, and then Scythed won.
Wow.
So, but then in losers, Axe 3-0'd Scythed and 6-1'd me. So,
Yeah,
I played him in bracket. I 3-1 Scythed. He's pretty good.
Falcon Sheep.
And I also played him in friendlies a lot. Yeah.
Right. And I mean that's not all. Like that's only one example. I mean I heard of Aklo on the come up on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, the Fox legend.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
there's so many people. Yeah, nobody's heard about before. There's so many people who are good.
Yeah.
And yeah, even if
So-
I have a fancy number next to my name,
Yeah,
fellas
you
can
still gotta
clap
play.
me. Yeah, any of these people can clap me. Even Deft, like I've never heard of this guy, and he's like, just like a lot of friendlies, he could just destroy me. And I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, you can't let this little website get to your head, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I mean the whole point of I mean it's not the point of rankings, but like it's usually just right after a ranking comes out, then some wild stuff
Yeah,
happens.
that's the classic because everyone's like, wait, it's either people get a big head or the pressure of being ranked gets to them,
Yeah.
and then right after they don't play above average and then they lose.
Is the ranking gonna be complete before Genesis?
I think the first day of Genesis is when the last. So like
Okay.
11 a.m. the first day of Genesis, because Friday.
Right.
Yeah. I think Friday's the end, and I think I'm. Wait a minute. Today is what? Oh wait. So tomorrow will be mine at 30 to 21,
Mm-hmm.
and then 20 to 11. Yeah. The last one will be Friday. There is a very very slim chance, but I could be top 20. But I don't think I'm pretty sure I will not be. I'll be 21 at best, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it, and again, it doesn't matter to me that much because your trajectory has always been upward.
Number one.
Yeah, and that's why I've always felt. As soon as you beat me or started beating me, I was like, dude, this guy just keeps improving, and it's like, you know, it was the whole idea that it wasn't just that you finally beat me; it was that it was against ice climbers.
Yeah,
And-
I also think that if people had the goal of like, a lot of local people, their goal is just to be better than you or the best person in their region. And I feel like
Yeah.
if you aim for something like that, then you won't get there. But because my goals were insanely lofty, then
Yeah.
like, yeah.
No, that's good. I mean,
Mhm.
you always like were looking for another answer to a problems you ran into, and I was just like, man, this guy is getting wobbled every week, multiple times a week, and he just keeps going. He doesn't really care that he's getting wobbled. His mentality must be insane, and it can only go up from here. You know, I was just like, dude, this guy's gonna be the best. That's how I feel. That's how I still feel. But it's fun. It's crazy because once you know you're at the rank where I thought you would be eventually. I've always known you would get this far, but now I know that once you get this far, the people who are up there, your peers, you know, people like Nun and Axe, like the top 20 players, they're all kind of in the same. You know, these are all people who have the same goal. You know.
Yeah.
And fighting against that is really an arms race, and it must be pretty crazy. Because I mean, you've been there for a while. You know, playing against top players, beating top players, losing to top players.
Yep.
What's that like? Like people, because at that point, people are just doing certain things that only they do. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I think without Sammy, it would be a lot harder. But at the end of the day, we can watch those people too. We don't have to watch Falcon or play against Falcon, but because we can watch them, they're. Well, I'm not good at it at all, but like, I usually want at least one set with them, and then I'll analyze it, then I'll figure it out. But,
Right.
yeah. But well, yeah, it's just that, and but at the end of the day, like, it's sort of like a surreal. What's the word? It really made me think when I realized that, in a way, top players and and even like new players, at the end of the day, it's sort of it's eerily similar. Where like they're a lot of the time, maybe they like react more and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, it's very just do what your brain is conditioned to do.
Mm,
Except that stuff is so good. It's
right.
just like it's muscle memory, and I think it's super weird to me because like it's just that this person's muscle memory is better than the new player's muscle memory, but like,
Mm,
at the end of the day, muscle memory takes over a large portion of the game, and it's weird to me because like they can just do that and they'll play at like top 20 level or whatever. They're
yeah.
just rinsing and repeating like there's not like insanely smart. I used to think there was insane thought behind all this stuff. They're like
Hmm.
a lot of them no, it's just, they're just doing that stuff, and also I think so many of these people, in my opinion, it seems to me a lot of these top 30 players are actually pretty complacent, and like I don't think they're either not working hard or they're working hard but not working smart.
Right. Wow, that
And
makes
yeah.
so much sense. I'm really happy that you said that because, I mean, all of last year, one of the biggest things I learned, and part of the reason I started this podcast is because it's exactly what you're talking about. Like getting better at something, a lot of times just comes with just repetition,
Mhm.
and like most people will play on autopilot, and the only time you really need to break that autopilot if you're winning is if you lose, because then you have to take a second look and kind of break the mold a little bit.
Mhm.
And grinding certain stuff can create bad habits, and then you have to take those out, replace it with good habits. But in order to replace it with good habits, you have to be conscious of it, and you have to keep being conscious of it until it becomes a good habit, and then you don't have to think about it anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a really high level autopilot based on stuff you've learned over the
Hmm.
years.
Yeah, honestly, like the competing itself doesn't change much no matter how good you are, I feel. Just it's like you still play with that and you don't really like because the game is too fast, you're not actually thinking about much.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what you're doing outside of the game. Like when you're working, are you just playing or like are you actually like directing your efforts
Mm-hmm.
properly to forge good habits?
A question for you. This is something that always got to me, and it's kind of a weakness that I wasn't really able to conquer before I retired. When you're playing someone that's like clearly better than you, like way better than you, and you have to force yourself to like observe and adapt while you're playing them, even if it's in friendlies, and you have to like not get intimidated. I mean, I don't think I got intimidated that much because I knew I could always wobble someone, but like, does it change the way you play at all, or like how do you mentally adjust to that when you know someone's better? I mean, not that that happens a lot to you now
Hmm.
since you're pretty up there, but I know it happened to you before. So what did you do?
Um. Uh. I think everyone in a social setting they get psyched out when they play against someone like this is the legendary blah 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 and you this lowly peasant and yeah I feel like when I was a young lad a lot of the time when I would play these people I'd be like I would think stuff like oh don't like spam grab they'll think like you're a grab addict like
Right.
because a lot of people like the narrative with me is like oh, Spark, yeah, that guy is just he just practiced tech chasing in his room. He doesn't think, but he's really good at like tech chasing, and that was the narrative when I was on the come up like
Mm-hmm.
Arcadian level. And I would be like self conscious. I'd be like, okay, this pro player's probably heard that I'm just like a grab addict, don't like spam grab or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of social stuff with that, but
Yeah.
when I play against them, honestly, um I used to think like, man, I should be thinking something different. I should be thinking smartly. I should be like paying attention to this, blah, blah, blah. And then like, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't actually do any sort of like insane thinking that I used to think people did when they played Melee. But
Mm-hmm.
now I actually know it's just a matter of habits, and I had to play like without analysis. It just straight up takes a while. Like when I played Pew Pew, like it took a really long time before I would even come close to taking any games.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like repeat, 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 and then like with Keizu, Keizu had my number for a long time, but he was gracious enough to net play me all the time.
Yeah.
And then like it took like a year of net playing, and then I was like, and then we would go back and forth, and then finally like I, even now I think it's still back and forth. But yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
Armada made a video a while ago about like his learning cycle. I forgot the exact terms he used, but it was basically this process of experimenting, and then analyzing your experience, and then there was a certain part where there was a part where you have to come up with creative ideas, and I feel like for you, that's pretty difficult for you, but because you have Sammy now, you have someone to kind of cover that. Like what I mean by creative ideas is like when you're in certain scenarios, there's something else you could have done. If it would have taken forever for you yourself to come up with it, Sammy, you have another brain to help you like come up with something to do in that situation.
Yeah, that helps me a lot, and also it's not just a lot of times just the everything in general. Like, what should I like? Some things are just like in neutral are just fundamentally incorrect that I do, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what he helps me with a lot too. Because like a lot of it is pretty much just if you used your eyes and reacted to this, then you would know that the thing that you chose to do is
Is what?
that is useless.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of what the lessons consist of. And yeah, there's also that part where he's like, "Do this," and I'm like, "Oh my, that helps so much."
Right.
So yeah, that does help a lot. Although I do some creative stuff. Like I think with the ambiguous DI, that's the biggest thing. Like if you have perfect ambiguous DI, you can beat Sheik's down throw because it's impossible for you to tell which side
Mm-hmm.
of Sheik's body you're on until it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the only one. Everyone like was very vague when I asked the question, and then so I just buckled down and tested it and found out, yeah, humans can't react to this if they're perfect. And then I came up with this new wave dash tech chase that involves like notches and perfect angles and stuff like. And so I like created a big Google Doc on it. So like I think I'm pretty proud of that because I made it all on my own and I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
using it um, and I think this is really what's gonna take Sheik to the next level because nowadays any smart, although some of the pros for some reason don't know about it, a lot of the can be DI spamming, and we gotta adapt. Otherwise, Sheik will just not be able to down it, and that's
Yeah.
no good.
Your mic is cutting out sometimes, by the way. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but
Okay.
it's
But
like
yeah, I don't know what's wrong.
random pausing. But it's fine. It's not that bad.
Ugh, okay, I'll just be
Okay.
close.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I'll just be really close.
Anyway, what you're talking about, I mean, it's really an arms race, right? And what I love that because all it is solving a certain problem that no one else really had
Mm-hmm.
like really specific answer to, and you're like, okay, let's solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to. Like to get better, you like really need a genuine love for Melee,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people will not. Nobody's gonna invent new stuff unless you really like Melee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean that was me back in the ICs days. That was fun.
Oh yeah,
Just
you
trying
got
to
that
come up with
giant.
new stuff.
Yeah, that giant Smashboards post.
Yeah, those are the days. Zero Reddit. When he met me, he's like, "Oh, you're Choknado, I read your guide," and I was like, "Oh my god, that's kind of crazy."
Dang.
Yeah, man, it's weird thinking about this, reflecting on inevitably I'm gonna reflect on, and I do this every podcast. Like I just kind of reflect on my own path in Melee,
Mm-hmm.
and like I guess I just lost the love. You know what? I didn't lose the love for Melee in 2016. I lost my love for ICs, I think.
Hmm.
And I was talking about this with Ryan, where it wasn't that I didn't think the character was cool anymore, but because of what the meta was with the character, it was making other people play in a certain way that forced
Yeah.
me to play in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there were no answers to certain things. Like, I think it was when I was playing you for a while, and I was like, you know what? There's no answer to shielding on the platform. And now that shield drop is popular, what can I do? You know, even if I waveland on the platform, you can still shield drop on reaction. You know.
Yeah.
So I was just like, there's nothing I can do now. So I just got really tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I think it will be demoralizing. Your position was like pretty sucky. Like I can't imagine like if I put all character and then it's just like, oh wait, your character sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think it was rough, and also like on top of that, the meta evolved into something you don't like playing. Whereas in the beginning, it was a lot different. It was a lot more fun for you.
Yeah.
But I think like as long as you don't put too much emotional stock into it, you could still compete with a character you like, which is probably Falcon,
Mm-hmm.
and net play and just at your own pace and enjoy improving that way.
Yeah.
So, I think you could just do that.
Yeah, I do really like Falcon. And the thing is, I mean, the more casual that I get in a way, the more I can get over the icy stuff. And I do think, I mean, it's not that there's no answers to shielding on the platform. It's just that I got to play around it, you know? I could probably just get under and auto-cancel some up airs and see what happens, you know? Like, there's a way to play around it. I mean, Nintendo and Diz were a lot more deliberate about it than I was. I was just, like, I guess emotionally getting tired of the tactic. So, there's answers, I'm sure. And I still like Ices. Because I have been back on net play a little bit, and I've been playing Ices, and I'm just kind of styling on people. I'm like, man, it's really fun to do this again. Yeah.
That's good.
Anyway, last time I played you for like an hour against your Fox.
Yeah.
How's I mean, everybody has those times, right, when you just degenerate and you want to play random characters. How's that for you? I mean, you used to never play anything other than Sheik.
Yeah, nowadays like I play Fox a lot. That's my go-to for funsies character.
Uh-huh.
And I play Marth. My Martha is pretty good against Spaceys. Trying to get better at the floaties, and I like Falcon. I know how to tech chase obviously automatically, and then the rest is pretty but I like enjoying and improving with it. And then Falcon is pretty fun. He's really different, really creative, so I enjoy learning that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for fun though. I haven't like. Yeah, I think some people say, oh, you improve a lot by playing other characters, and I think that's sort of a cop-out answer, because I think you would just improve far more if you just played your current character.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think it's true to a little extent. Like, when I play Fox a lot, I'm like, wait, this actually isn't free. And I was like, wait. So I learned a little bit from playing Fox.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
so that is true to a minor extent, I think. But
yeah. I think also because certain characters force you to play a certain way. Like, for example, if you started playing Jigglypuff a lot, you would probably understand that there's a certain way to play this character that's not natural to me, but if I did this, I would at least learn how to play Puff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why we gravitate towards certain mains, because those mains have the stuff that we like.
Yeah.
You think that's true?
So. Yeah, I think so.
That's why I pick Falcon, because I don't want to deal with platform camping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that they can't, but it's a lot harder against Falcon.
Yeah, of course. It's not even like nobody says platform camping. Yeah. Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? There's stuff that I see you do when you play, and to me, it's just like the spark.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that stuff now, because that's what I really like, and that's what I see with a lot of top players. Like I said, they do stuff that only they do. There's a lot of stuff that's the Mango, right? That's why it's the whole meme to call something the Mango, because he actually does do a lot of stuff that only he does.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of stuff I'm seeing now with you. I'm like, that's the spark. Like when you just randomly start crouching in neutral, because it's like you're anticipating something.
Yeah.
And you do that with every character, and I'm like, why don't people do this? It's so good. You know?
And dashing and a crouch is a true punish.
Yeah.
Most people don't do. Reaction tech chasing with crouch is something I also do with Fox a lot if they're knocked down. Like versus Fox and Falco, if I'm playing Fox, if they're knocked down, I'll always crouch, whereas no other top Fox does it, even though you can react to everything if you just did this. But nobody does it. But the other one is run off up B. Everyone calls the spark now.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's been a thing for a long time, but you're doing it effectively and
in tournament,
in
so
tournament.
that's why people are actually calling it the spark.
And also, I mean, like your ledge play, that's something I noticed. I mean, the set you took off Mango, I've watched a few times, because that was really exciting for me, and exciting for us as a region, you know.
Yeah.
To watch you, dang, he took a player off one of the five guys, whatever. But it's like there was a lot of stuff, because I watched the set really closely, And I was laughing because I'm like, you're doing a lot of the same stuff you did against DP. You're just like
Yeah.
randomly naring and shut
Yeah.
off nair and just moving around. Like a lot of your movement seems kind of random, but I'm familiar with it because I've played you a lot. Like you just randomly wave land on the platforms. You're just moving around, throwing out back airs or whatever, and it almost reminds me of Amsa. Or
Yeah, yeah, it's very like just dancing on it, like
yeah.
yeah.
And then also, like there's the movement that I think is Spark like, and then there's also like ledge play, which
Yeah, I abused it particularly against Mango because when I think about playing Mango, I'm like, he's not very patient, right? So if I
yeah,
just dick around on the platforms and like abuse wall jumps that like if I wall jump twice, like but nobody's prepared for that, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
on top of the fact that he's not very patient, so
mhm,
I'm gonna make him take the ledge and I'm gonna spam waylands. Basically, it's the principle I think Justin Wong talked about where you really milk the hell out of your lead.
yeah, yeah,
And I was at like 130% and I had like a stock lead. And it's not a very big lead, but if I abused the fact that he wasn't very patient, and then I milked it really hard by wall jumping
mm,
twice, getting the back airs, ledge stalling, then get a ledge jump fair, then
yeah,
do another wall jump fair, then get on, then get like an F tilt. Yeah.
yeah. That was really noticeable against Mango. Actually, that's
Yeah.
really funny because I mean, Mewtwo used to do the same thing, but Mewtwo was only doing the up B stall, whereas you on Yoshi's were just doing all kinds of funny stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Mine wasn't about being like like just annoying to the point where he would approach, but rather it would be like Mango would probably take the ledge if I give it to him,
Yeah.
and because he thinks he's at an advantage and he's not patient. It's a combination of both. And then I'll just wall jump twice, and then because nobody ever expects that,
Yeah,
and then I'll get like a free backer.
dude, that's hilarious. I was really laughing when I watched the set because I watched it live too,
Yeah.
and I was laughing because I was like, dude, Zayd's just doing Zayd stuff and he's winning.
Yeah, he was very impatient. He also tried to get cheesy recoveries that initiate reversals. Like
Mhm.
if I miss the edge guard, I'll get burned and he'll get a combo. That's what he went for.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so I was prepared for that, and I like way dash back and down smashed.
Yeah.
Because of that situation. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to get into the whole Mango John's conversation, but was he intoxicated at all? How invested do you think he was in that?
I don't think he was really like at all. He was definitely tryharding. Like right before the set, he played face roll and he beat him.
Uh-huh.
He beat Keizu, and I think he beat his ass.
Okay.
Yeah, he was definitely trying, and also he has so much privilege because like he didn't have to play any sets, and we like anyone who's not like a top 8 seed or whatever,
Mhm.
they had to play like 5 sets. So like
Ah, I see.
so he just had to play Keizu, face roll, and bam, he's like winners semis. It's
Right,
like,
right.
alright.
Yeah.
So
But you know, those guys are not pushovers. I mean,
I mean, of course.
yeah.
Yeah, I was actually spooked. I dropped a game to Napkins from Arizona.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watch your brackets, man. I'm a big Spark fan. I'm one of the biggest Spark fans. You know.
Nice.
You know that. I just want you to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I know.
Because I feel like I have some stake in this, in a way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're the master. You're my master.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. PPU is not really my master. We just grinded together, you know.
Right. I mean, I don't think I helped you that much. I grinded.
Yeah,
with
you're
you,
not
so
you're not really my master either because all we did was play a lot.
Yeah.
But I guess either like Ladanus was my first master, and then now Sammy's my master.
Yeah, Sammy's the master.
But you were the first. You were the. I feel like if you didn't exist, then like I wouldn't have something to work towards. And honestly, there's a possibility I just never really got good.
Dude,
I would just be like mediocre.
before you, the difference between me and everyone except JR was gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was nobody to challenge me. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
That's why I was playing PM because I'm like, you know, at least people have a chance in this game.
Yeah.
And JR never came to anything, so there was just no challenge in Melee. Like I was just
yeah. It's just it was just it's crazy how it all spiraled because you believed in the 209 and you built it up. Then I randomly came after my SAT or whatever, and then I met you, and then because I started playing, like I convinced Azel to go to a 209 local,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then Azel like fell in love with it too. Then Azel became good, And then like Traplord randomly came along,
Mhm.
and then we all encouraged Traplord, and he got better. You
Yeah.
know, it just like was like a spiral. Now, both like all of us, you, me, Azel, and Traplord, we're all like really good players. We've all beaten like some of the best to ever play the game.
Yeah. It's so cool to hear that, because like I don't want to give myself too much credit, but at the same time, I see the snowball effect, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful to see. It really warms my heart to see, and I wish for the three of you guys, and not just you guys, Xander, I don't know if he's going to Genesis, but and Jason,
Mm-hmm.
all you guys
And
are
Vince,
improving.
yeah, we're all on the come up. I could genuinely see in the near future Xander, Jason, and Vince all getting on like NorCal PR
Yeah,
better. So
dude,
yeah.
Vince is tight. I really like. There were like four of them, I think, in the beginning, from Mantika. But Vince is going to everything now.
Yeah,
It's
Vince
cool.
really stuck with it. I think like the others, like Jaime and all, are kind of
Yeah.
falling off. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. I mean, I wish I can go to stuff and see you guys. I say this every podcast. I miss Melee,
Yeah.
and the fire's
That's
still
okay.
there.
We'll find time. Like
Yeah.
you know, like well, when I learn how to drive, I'll visit.
I can't believe you still don't have your driver's license.
Oh, like, it's hard, dude.
Are you 21, 22?
22.
22? All right.
Yeah. My test is in like 4 weeks. So.
Okay. Have you been practicing?
No, because I was in Pakistan. But I'll
Right.
practice now.
Dude, driving is free, man. Compared to Melee, driving is so easy. Dude, you got this.
Alright. It's okay. I'll get it at a crisp age 23. And then I'll post in 209. I'll be like, we did it, boys.
When's your birthday?
7 years. August 3rd.
Nice.
I'll
okay.
probably get it before then, but it'll be funny if I don't.
It would.
23. Ooh.
The whole thing about improving and understanding how to improve, the whole thing we were talking about earlier, where it's just habits,
Mm-hmm.
But understanding how to break those habits when problems come up, and then coming up with a new idea and then making that into a habit, that whole iteration process is the way to get better,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually applying that now in Ultimate, because for me Ultimate's a brand new playing field. I know I was just playing King K. Rool because he seemed like a really easy character, and I just wanted to meme on people, and I got kind of okay. I'm actually like trying now to pick a good character and like figure out how to play the game, and just have a whole new exploration, because that's what I loved about ICES. I wanted to get creative, and I'm doing it in Ultimate now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Ultimate's cool.
Do you play it all?
Yeah, my Fox is pretty good. I won like 2 locals.
Oh, sick.
Never played again.
Are you entering Ultimate at Genesis or no?
Nah, it's not worth the hassle.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. Ultimate's cool though. It's nice. I feel like it could have been like godlike, but it's okay.
Yeah, it could have been godlike. Just a few minor tweaks to the engine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like wave dashing.
Yeah.
That's one. Like, it takes so long for you to.
Dude, I saw an actual wave dash back punish like on stream at the Arizona tournament, and I was like, oh.
Oh, nice.
Like a Roy player wave dash back grab, and I was like, oh my god.
You got a wave dash with Z or
yeah,
grab?
yeah. Pretty dope. I honestly like Ultimate's kind of cool.
It is.
I don't know. I play Fox. Pretty dope.
Yeah,
Roy looks cool. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
It's still not this. It'll never be the same dopamine as Melee, because
Yeah.
it's like jumping and doing short hop aerials is so safe.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, safer than Melee, because most characters can't just run in and shine, or just like run in and punish you for whiffing something.
Yeah, that's true. Like when it comes to this, it's like play anything but Melee.
Yeah.
Melee's just too sick, and
It's too sick.
Like, yeah, and I could play Fox or Falco or Falcon. I'm like, no, I still have to learn playing those characters too, and Sheik. Like, it's too much to improve on.
Yeah.
So,
But for me, I my favorite part of learning fighting games is like the creative exploration. That's why I think for me it's really cool to get into a new game. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
I was playing DK for a couple days, and now I'm on Wario. And now that I played a bit of DK, I'm like learning why Wario is like high tier, because he can just jump everywhere and just punish stuff way faster than Donkey Kong can. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my character. I want to try all the top tiers like Palu and stuff. So,
For sure, it sounds good. We could play. I have an Ethernet adapter.
dude, let's do it. Well, I have an Ethernet for Melee, but I don't have an Ethernet adapter for the Switch. So.
It's just like $8 or something.
Oh,
USB
okay.
to Ethernet, and then you just buy that on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, man. I guess good luck at Genesis.
Oh yeah, that's real soon. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'll enter the pre-Genesis tournament. I might want to take it easy. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like you're so close.
Yeah.
You're so close.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I think like, although I said it's just habits, there's also like I feel like there's something that the best have, and I think it's like Armada has this insane observational ability,
Mhm.
and his flowcharts are like way more refined
Mhm.
than like the others, and like Mango is very creative, and I think he's in the same vein where they can actually pick up like what you're going to do because of past experiences.
Mhm.
I think like the obviously like the like most people know this, but like there's something that they have that's just that's on another level. It's not just habits, you know?
Well, I mean, you could say that, but at the same time, if you look at the others, like people like Plup and Hungrybox and Mewtwo King, they all have their own thing.
Oh no, I meant them too. Yeah.
Oh, them too? Oh, yeah.
I meant like those like 6 or 7. Plup, Leffen, Hungrybox, Mango Armada, PP. I probably forgot one of them.
Mewtwo King.
Yeah, they all have something that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that they bring to the table. And yeah, and it's like a lot of it's like on a personal level. Like they can like player to player, they can like pick up stuff
I see.
a lot better or a lot faster. Something like that. And
Well, okay, so if it's something personal and outside of the game, I mean, I don't think you necessarily have to be conscious of what that is, because it's more that people, when they observe those players are not the same as the people who are observing them. It's the people observing who are going to be able to pick up on those tendencies faster, because they're just playing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
For example, with you, when I watch you, I laugh because I know there's like Zayd stuff that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some of that stuff is just dialed up to a crazy level too, that no one else does. Like the way you just randomly crouch in neutral. I'm like, oh, he's looking for something, you know.
Yep.
And the way you play on the ledge is kind of wild. I think it's maybe you can search for like that thing, but I think it's already there, and it's just a matter of taking it to a higher level, which I feel
Yeah,
like.
I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. We might all have some sort of innate capability. I think it's something that can be trained for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's a lazy narrative that people paint where it's like Mango just was born with the power that nobody else has.
Yeah.
They
No,
can't-
it's
no
definitely
matter how
not
hard they
that.
work.
And I've
No,
always
it's like-
known this about Mango, is that I mean, Mango's one of my favorite players and one of everybody's favorite players. But what I've known about him is that the reason he's that good is because he grinded the shit out of the game with Lucky. Like they just grinded really hard, and so they see a lot of stuff that other people don't see. That's it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an absurd amount of hours. When you have someone in person you play with constantly, and that is your primary focus every day, like you're gonna really get a knack for it, and you're gonna get a knack for like picking up what people like to do. And the thing about Mango is like I think his personality was a habit that I'm looking to break is my whole adventure. I've been like, what's the right thing to do? What's the right thing to do? What's the correct thing to do? And and I've been like, because of that, I've seen myself be locked into only a few options, and I've been too scared to really like assert myself against other people and like or do risky plays. And then when you watch Mango, he's doing stuff that's like it's like kind of silly, and like he doesn't care if it's right or wrong, and he also is way more concerned about what the person's gonna do. And on top of that, he has like a lot more options. Like he's like thought about stuff and he's made up a lot more options. But like you could full hop here, drift back here, you could do all this stuff.
Hmm.
For me, I've straight up like I've seen matches where I'm like, wow, I just don't full hop against Mario this game. And I'm like,
Hmm.
well, I just don't at all. And I'm like, there's so much I like when I play. There's so much I'm like, I still need to learn. And I think it can be something that anyone can learn. They believe in themselves and they work at it.
Oh,
I
I
think it's
see.
real. I think it's really silly that people are like, "Oh, this guy was born with it, and he's the natural." And it's like,
Yeah.
maybe he got a knack for it, but anyone can do it. You gotta believe and stop fucking fetishizing people.
No, yeah, I see. I know what you're saying about that anything can be trained. This is little bit about Street Fighter, but people talked about Fudo. You know Fudo.
Yeah,
That
he played like Fei Long or something.
yeah, he was. They called him the most well-rounded player, and there was nothing in particularly good about him, but every quality about him was just dialed up to a top level, like reactions, execution, reads, stuff like that. That usually certain top players will be like, oh, that statistic about them is probably their best thing, but Fudo had everything. And I feel like as a player, you can take an aspect of yourself that's weaker and work on it.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
could go for crazy, mango plays if you wanted to, if you just practiced
hmm
it and
Yeah, I think we all have a chance, and we all gotta believe in ourselves. And I
yeah,
think it's silly to be like this dude's DNA is.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, bro, shut up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, for me, a lot of my improvement early on was just copying top players. Like the only reason I played Ices was because of Chudat,
Yeah,
and I just copied a couple videos of him, and it took me to it. I won a local.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was literally a random Asian Fox Falco main, and I was just playing Spacies. I watched a couple Chudat videos, practiced them a little bit, and then I won a local. I mean, to be fair, that's kind of how the character works.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's what happened.
yeah. I was a big Mewtwo King fanboy. That's where my thing came from
Yeah,
after watching the documentary,
yeah,
and then Plup came along, or Jug Fox came along, and Plup came along, and I was like, they're different and they're cool in their own way, and I was just a big fanboy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about this a little bit in the last podcast with Ryan too, but like, ICs are not complete. They're not even close. I would love to see a player get past the whole stigma, get past you're a wobbler, and
Mm-hmm.
take the character to where they could be. And
Yeah,
I feel
like
like the character is so far from what they could be.
yeah. I honestly, they're pretty cool. Like I've seen like there are these notches that make one of them jump and the other one doesn't jump, and it's
Oh,
like
really?
yeah, there's like so much stuff you can think of,
Yeah.
and like I think you just like need to fall in love with wobbling though. I think
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it is, and like I think you can. I think like all right, like finding the one needle in the haystack, just being like all right, this right here, and you have to be really good at reading people.
Hmm.
And that's like a commendable skill, and you can get it, and then like, and just even if it's hard for your character to get the grab, like finding crazy ways to get it, I think is super impressive, and
Hmm.
also like, and I think it's fun, and I think they can reach really high highs, but they have to get over the stigma, and also like at the end of the day, getting wobbled is just like when the wobble happens. If your stock disappeared, I think there's no reason to hate it. Like, there's no
Hmm.
reason to hate it because uh, like the only other possible argument low risk high reward thing, and it's like, but I mean getting it's still really hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like yeah, I think an IC player needs, but they need to be really good at dealing with the hate. Like I think Army took a break, and it's like it's really seemed to get to everyone.
Dude, I used to laugh at the "Let's Go Army Woo" thing, that
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, but it's so mean.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
memeing on this man, and he doesn't deserve. Army's a cool guy.
Yeah.
That's the thing about actually almost pretty much all ICs players that I've met. They're all pretty chill.
Yeah. They're fine. It's just a matter of that's what
We
people
just
want.
have to
Like
get over it.
there's a ridiculous amount of hate. Like even to this day, Nintendo gets like hate, and it's like,
He doesn't even play ICs anymore.
yeah, dude, it's like, oh my god.
He doesn't even think ICs is that good anymore. I mean,
Yeah. He straight up told me he was like, yeah, I need to put time into another character so I can get higher highs
Yeah.
and stuff. Although I think ICs can do it. They need to be wild though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
They need to be like crazy, like nerdy, notching ass. Like they need to be on some crazy tech stuff. Like they
Yeah,
need.
yeah.
It's
I
not
agree.
about like fundamentals. I think. Well, it's that on top of being insanely good at reading people. I'm talking like one of the top 5 players level of like understanding your habits and then
Mhm.
just and then knowing exactly where you're gonna go. And then on top of that, create like revolutionizing with like crazy tech and like ridiculous notches that desync you in weird ways. And
Yeah, yeah.
I think they can do it. If Pikachu can do it, if Falcon can do it, I
ICs
think.
can definitely do it. Yeah. I mean, Ryan and I were talking about this last podcast too. Well, we were looking at the cast because I used to think, you know, when early on when I was growing up with the game, I'm like, oh, there's only a few viable characters that are top tier. There's only like 5 of them. As I evolved, I'm like, you know what? Samus is good. Falcon's good. Maybe there are 8 or 9 characters that are viable. But nowadays, I look at the cast, and there's only a few that I feel like cannot win. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like obviously we look at Roy. Like the engine is just against Roy. You know,
Yeah,
CC is too
Roy.
strong.
Yeah, I don't think Roy can
Yeah,
play.
so there's a few characters that I feel like just can't do it. But
Mm-hmm.
you look at the cast and like, Luigi can win stuff. Like
Yeah,
you just
Doc. DK can win like half the matchups, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, like he can beat like Spacey's sort of,
Yeah.
and he can beat Marth,
Mhm.
and there's some where it's like, okay.
Right. It's
Yeah.
gonna be rough, but I mean, it's just a matter of in order to master a character, you got to play around your weaknesses anyway. Every character has to do that. Even Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Fox has clear weaknesses that he has to play around all the time.
Yeah.
Martha's clear weaknesses he has to play around all the time, and to have faith in a character, I feel like is more viable now that people actually know how to improve properly and are not just gonna give up due to some
Indeed.
quote unquote matchup being impossible.
Yeah, Melee's too deep. Even Roy, like honestly, like I've seen like, what if you just aerial neutral B and stuff? Like at least some matchups, like I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're right. I mean,
His movement is good. His like punish is good. It's just a matter of like you're not allowed to do a lot of stuff. But if you just run away a lot and down tilt and grab an aerial neutral
uh-huh.
B, I think you can actually like play him.
You know what? I think that's funny that you say that because when I think of Roy, I'm like, dude, he's just gonna get CC'd to death by every character. But when you say it that way, in a positive light, I suddenly
Yeah,
think it's possible. It's like it's what you said about love, right? If you
Mhm.
love the game, you love that character, and you really really want to commit, you can make it work.
Yeah,
It's like
melee is
marriage.
just melee. Melee is this game where like if you believe hard enough and search inside melee, you will find what you're looking.
That's actually so insane. Because, well, I mean, to be clear, most fighting games are not like that.
Yeah, that's why it's
There
crazy. Like,
there are clear limits, but we
Mhm.
know in Melee that playing at a task level,
Feels limitless.
yeah, playing at a task level is pretty much humanly impossible.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is take what you get, take what you have, and do the best with it. And the ceiling is so damn high that you could probably, like, just take it to a level that no one's ever seen. I mean,
Mhm.
we look at there's only like one other game that I felt like had that level of, limitless skill ceiling, right? Which is
Mhm.
StarCraft Brood War. And in a way, there's only like 3 characters if you think about it.
Mhm.
But because, I mean, I guess build order is like something that limits your game, but just the amount of stuff you can do, like late game, mid game, is just beyond human ability. So it's just a matter. That's where playstyle comes in, where people are just taking. It's not about the game ceiling; it's about their ceiling,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Melee's like.
Mhm. Yeah, there's only a handful of games like that
Yeah,
competitively, and I'm glad that the one I play is one of them.
yeah,
So
yeah,
very because the odds of picking a game like that are not high.
yeah. It's definitely not, especially now when developers are focusing on accessibility.
Yeah, developers left and right are focusing on making things easier. Everyone's talking nowadays about L canceling on
Yeah,
Twitter.
I think it's silly.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, as a developer, it's like, yeah, but your game's not gonna be that cool,
Yeah.
People are gonna play and they're gonna feel that reward, but
Yeah. It's like
it won't last.
it's like a short term. It's like a band-aid on like that. It's
Yeah.
like that's what they did with Street Fighter V, right?
Yeah, that's the whole
Like,
reason people
Yeah,
don't like it.
they try to make it easier, but like at the end of the day, like people, maybe a few more people be like, "Wow, I can pick up this game,"
Yeah,
but none of those fellows are gonna stick around.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing in Street Fighter 5 with there are no more one frame links, and
I
the
think one
easiest.
frame links are stupid too because it's just like it's very like OCD or get it perfectly
Yeah.
and like for such a minor gain, but it is kind of cool. Where I've heard the argument that like well some even at the top level some people don't go for it and some people do go for it for that's
Well,
where some
that's the
sort of
thing.
expression comes from.
Right, that's the thing though.
So
Like in Melee, there's a lot of one frame stuff that Fox players do that you gotta just do. I
wait,
mean, you
what?
don't have to do it, but you can go for crazy stuff if you wanted to. That's what made a
Yeah.
player like
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
that
yeah.
guy
So
Soccer?
that's why I excuse it because like even at the top levels, a lot of people aren't going for these one frame links. It's fine.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that from a
Yeah.
developer standpoint, what is your reason to patch it out? You know, there's no reason
Yeah, yeah. I
to
think
take
it's
it
okay.
out. Yeah,
Mhm.
like if there's high skill ceiling stuff that you can put in the game, why remove it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, multi shining is a one frame link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Third Strike's the best though.
Third Strike is sick.
Dude, Third Strike is so fun.
I liked 4 also. I liked 4.
Yeah, I enjoyed 4 too. I actually like it in like that order. Like I really love Third Strike and I thought 4 was pretty fun too. I
Yeah,
played
yeah.
those a lot when I was like 12 in
Mhm.
the arcades and whatnot.
Uh, what I like about we're talking about the skill ceiling of Melee, and how it becomes a matter of like personal expression because it's about players dialing their own ability as high as they can.
Yeah.
Whereas the player ceiling, not the game ceiling. I
Mhm.
and that's why you get so much individuality at the top level of Melee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why
Yeah.
Spark is gonna be just Sparky stuff, just Spark.
Yeah, yeah.
Spark.
That's what really makes the game because it's like even if the game is like well, it's like fair and balanced and all, and there's a lot to dig in, without the creativity aspect, it's just gonna be like who's good, who's good,
Mm-hmm.
who's good. Rather, like imagine if the only way to play Falcon was Tech Chase,
Yeah.
or the way to play him was Reed, or yeah, or if like you should always do this like shield pressure. There's maybe if I don't know, maybe there's like 3 mix-ups when you do shield pressure, and you do 1, 2, or 3 rock paper scissors, or sure like it's cool and like people are really getting the hang of it stuff. But because there's like a million things you can do. You can like do some stupid stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like because of that stupid stuff, then everyone you could see who it is just by watching them.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's where the real love for the game comes through. It's
Yeah.
like,
Um, what I really loved when I was picking Falcon is when you look at the top, not 3 Falcons, but 4 Falcons if you include Gatsu. I miss that guy, but they were
he's
all.
number 36 right now.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Yeah,
Good,
today he
because
was
I haven't
announced.
seen him at very many majors, but that guy's insane.
Mm-hmm.
When I was studying Falcon, I mean, none is my favorite, but Gatsu was after that. He just goes for crazy stuff, and the way he confirms, and the way he like pivots, and like he was just even he had a lot of stuff that he doesn't do, and that's what I like about the top Falcons, is that they're all wildly different. They're just
Yep.
way different in the way they play. And it's some people talk about like, what if you take Wizrobe's punish game and put it on Nun's reads and SDJ's, I don't know, whatever, Nairs, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like you can, I mean, each player took a certain part of Falcon and took it as far as they could, and I'm sure they learned from each other. But you still get that individuality no matter what because it's player based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, without that soul, without any creativity, even no matter how technically sound the game is, without any soul, you don't really have a game. Like a game that's like everyone loves,
Yeah.
It'll just be like, it'll just be a game where it has solutions, it has practice, it has hard work, but it doesn't have those moments that make you wanna get hype.
I think that's why in Melee, when we look at the top level, I mean, to a certain degree, people talk about characters, especially with people like Hungrybox. It's like, when people think about Hungrybox, they think about Jigglypuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because he's the only one. If there was another Puff at his level who played differently, first of all, that would be really scary. But also, it's like, then you could talk about the whole playstyle thing, because I'm sure that Puff would look very different.
Yeah, I think so too. And like everyone's talking about how HBox doesn't reaction tech chase rest and stuff like that. So like there is stuff to do with Puff too. And
Yeah.
although I am worried because like I used to think like people are just scrubs, but now that I thought about it, like the spectator argument is pretty valid for
Hmm.
Melee's future. And like if we had Puff Dittos in like major tournaments, it would make people not watch, and that's just the
Yeah.
fact of the matter. So like
I mean, I look at 2010, 2011 as like the dark age when Mango Puff versus Hungrybox Puff, and then we had Armada Young Link. We had that hour-and-a-half grand finals at Apex. Young Link
yeah,
Puff.
imagine if Mango just played Puff all this time, dude. That'd be weird.
Yeah, we all. I think we all, in a way, try to avoid the dark timeline. I think even HBox knows, like, he doesn't want a dark timeline.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
it's funny. But
Yeah, whether it's
yeah,
right or wrong to like not watch because of blah 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 is irrelevant. If it's not fun to watch, people won't watch. What's
yeah.
weird is there are some matches where I think it's not fun to watch, and everyone so hype. Like I don't know,
Like which ones?
Axe versus Hungry Bucks. So,
Oh,
like,
really?
bro, like I don't want to watch this, but everyone's happy, and I'm like glad everyone's happy.
It's kind of sad to watch, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hype when X wins, but the matchup looks so hard.
Yeah, looks icky. Just like oh.
What's your favorite matchup to watch?
To watch, man. Honestly, like there are so many awesome ones in Melee
Mhm.
that I'm perfectly happy watching. Maybe I'm biased, but like it was probably a Sheik matchup. It's like Sheik Fox, maybe
Sheik
Sheik
Fox.
Falco, or yeah, probably
Mhm.
Sheik Fox. Just watching 6 Sheik Foxes, like oh my god.
I think one of my favorites is Falco Marth. That's a classic.
Oh yeah.
It's really good on both
Yeah, I
sides.
really love watching so many matchups.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's hard for me to pick one, but I would just probably pick Sheik Fox just because that's the one I think about all the time.
I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah.
What is your favorite matchup to play? Is it also Sheik Fox?
It might be like, cause like, I don't know, it's so hard, but yet it's still fun. So,
Yeah. And it's always
like,
rewarding when something you put into practice like works out.
yeah. I think it would be Sheik Fox. I think Sheik Falco is amazing as well, but it's like there's a little bit of stuff where like maybe it's just because it's easier for Sheik than that. Like I'm not too interested compared to Fox.
Do you like
Super-
Sheik ICs?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I just wish I just wish I had some more ICs to play again because
Yeah.
there's none of them. They all left the game.
Yeah, they were dead, we're extinct. I feel
Yeah.
bad, man. I feel like, Ryan and I were talking about this again also, but there's like a meta to people liking you, you know?
Yeah.
It affects the game in the big picture.
Yeah.
If ICs, let's say people loved wobbling, there not only would there be more ICs players, and you would see a meta push toward what people like. In a way, that's kind of what we see in Melee.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
the people who are not liked or like Puff mains, ICs mains, they're not.
They're much more infrequent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not because of the game, that they don't pick those mains. It's because
I think the social pressure is way more of a reason people don't play it than the character. Although I've heard arguments like nobody plays Puff because like nobody wants to just jump around,
yeah, yeah. I
which
mean,
might
yeah,
be
that's
true to an extent, but
Yeah.
like I think the bigger reason is because people don't like you if you play that character. Just
Yeah,
it is what it is, and everyone wants to be a cool guy, so
yeah.
yeah.
It's actually interesting. I mean, yeah, that part of the reason I could never play Puff is because I didn't have the patience for it. But I think that there are some people like I don't know if it was Melee Hell or something where some guy's uploading his Puff VODs and like almost all of his clips were like tech chase rests, and I was like, hey, this is pretty fun to watch. And I think, I mean, how you play also makes people. Here's the thing: when I played ICs, I never met a single person who hated the way I play. I don't know what it was about the way I played, but everyone was like, dude, playing is fun. And I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that because I know how people see this character,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think everybody loves Drunk Sloth. I think it's
Yeah.
only total scrubs who don't understand ICs that will hate on Drunk Sloth, but his ICs are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I like this conversation when talking to you because for you it wasn't. It's not necessarily chic, but it was like the Spark narrative.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
like
more people are liking you now, but there was a
yeah,
time.
yeah. I'm glad people didn't like me because it humbled me and
Mm,
also it gave me the adversity to like to understand more about how people act and whether it's right or wrong for them to think that way.
yeah.
Like some things they think are valid and I should work on that
Mm,
personally, but there are also some things that aren't valid and it's like
yeah.
you're dumb. And I need to learn to handle that adversity and I think both sides matured me as a person. I'm glad they happened.
That makes sense. I mean, how long ago was the whole Smash the Record
Uh, that was,
thing?
that was 2017 September.
Yeah.
So it
And
wasn't too
that
long ago, but yeah.
I remember that. I don't know how rough that was for you, but like the whole narrative of like Spark is this
Yeah, yeah, it
freaking
was
nerd.
rough. It was rough. I think most humans will not take kindly to like thousands of like hate comments and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've been as much as people like to say, oh, like they don't let people phase you. Like, bitch,
Yeah.
you don't know what it's like. You
Yeah,
don't know what
exactly,
it's
exactly.
like, good
Yeah.
dog. All these Falcon mains like, bro, I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck if people hate me, and I'm like, bitch, you don't know what the ice climber life is
Yeah,
like.
they have no clue.
You don't know, dude. It's rough.
Yeah. I never got it that much, but the one time that frustrated me, and this was only one time, is when I was playing at the Foundry and some girl on commentary was like, "Oh, Ice Climber is gonna get a wobble," and I was like, "Dude, you don't." Not only does she not know who I am, not only does she not care about the game, but it's bad. It's just a bad look. It doesn't affect anyone positively when there are people like that saying stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm happy you got past that, and now, Spark,
Mhm.
like top player
Yeah.
Spark, and now,
Yeah. A lot of people like me now. It's funny because like nobody even talks about it anymore.
yeah,
It
smash the
just
record.
all it just all went away.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it happened because like I don't know. I think if people liked me at first, then I don't know. I wouldn't have learned how to deal with people not liking me. So
Right, right, right. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's all adversity can be made useful. Yeah,
Yeah, it's gotta stay positive about stuff.
yeah,
Although obviously it's not cool to like
yeah,
be a hater, but unfortunately that's just the world we live in.
yeah.
So
It is. I mean, and a lot of this for people can be make or break.
mhm.
If it gets that bad, some people will just lose motivation completely.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think I'm probably not an exception. Like as much as I like to think that like I will grow from hate and stuff, like maybe if I just get hate all the time, like there's probably a limit to the amount of
yeah.
hate I can get. You know?
I think this is actually. I mean, I don't know if he will ever be completely redeemed, but for me, and the more time that goes on, the more I respect Hungrybox, because that's
Mhm.
his life.
Yeah.
And now he seems happier because he's doing his own stuff. He has his own content. His
Yeah.
stream seems to be going fine. His YouTube stuff is actually really fun. Have you seen Hot Ones?
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I
Yeah, it's
haven't
pretty
watched it
funny.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, I think in my opinion, what Hungrybox should do is to stop caring.
Mm.
Although that equals like having people like you equals money. So like work on it in that aspect, but
Mm.
don't care about it to the point where like your feeling of self-worth depends on it. People like
Mhm.
you rather just like try to make people like you just so you can get more subs.
Yeah. Dude, you see that Twitter clip that came out of this girl like saying how she was saying like how are you guys have so many hours to watch Twitch, but you can't spare $5 a month just to sub to me? Why are you not
Oh
subbing to me?
yeah,
You
yeah,
saw that
yeah. I
clip?
saw
It's
that.
so
I saw
dumb.
that. Yeah, yeah. It's very
It's
entitled.
yeah, I've never heard of something like I'm happy that she was been exposed quickly for saying some BS like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Mhm.
what I want to ask you, I mean, apart from Melee, I don't know that much about your life. Like, you're still in school, right?
Yeah. Last semester.
Last semester of UOP, and then you graduate.
Yep.
What are you, a computer science
Yep.
major?
Computer science major.
Okay.
I'm still not sure what I'm doing afterwards.
Career wise,
Yeah.
are
I'm
you in, are
probably gonna
you
take a. What's up?
maybe a personal question, but are you on loans? Are you in debt for school? You got to pay off
Uh.
college loans, or you being supported?
Uh. Yeah. My parents are really good about it, so.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And on top of that, I have a scholarship for UOP as long as I get good grades.
Oh,
So.
okay. That's good.
So yeah, as long as I do that, chilling, and so thankfully, I'm very thankful for that, because so
Yeah.
many people have it where they have to pay loans for a very long time.
Yeah. So yeah, you're very
Yeah.
fortunate, and I think that's something you definitely got to be
Mm-hmm.
thankful
Yeah,
for. And I know
I'm
you
very
are.
thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess career wise, I mean, I know you'll still be playing Melee, but after college, I guess it's just a matter of like hooking up with people who can, I don't know, job opportunities and stuff like that.
Yeah, I gotta grow up. Ugh.
When it comes to like when we're talking about Melee content or content creators, and not everyone can be good at that. I mean, it's not for everyone because you're really in the public eye and you just gotta entertain people. But I do know that for top players, it's like a decent like portion of their income, especially if they do want to just play Melee full time. Uh, I mean, I know Zane has been stepping it up with his funny content. Like, do you have any plans for like
Yeah.
streaming, YouTube, anything like that, or you just want to play?
I'm not sure, because like although like people have made it work, I don't know how long psychologically people can sustain just being other people's clown.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, yeah, I mean, there's probably a balance that's perfectly
Yeah.
fine, and maybe I'll try to indulge in that, because like I think I could say some funny stuff. I actually think I could come up with funny
Yeah,
stuff,
I
and
agree. But like, look at Mango. Like, it just fits for him, right? He likes that lifestyle.
yeah, that's true. That's what it is, and like I don't know. I think like it might be healthier um if I try to be a little less involved online, because I think being online is like mentally draining, and
Mm.
I think some people thrive on it.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about myself, but at the moment I think maybe I should chill with it,
Yeah.
but there might be a balance. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Streaming is fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of cool games I could play. There's also netplay, and but also I enjoy coding. I'm having a lot of fun with coding.
Mm-hmm.
I want to like make my own game one day, so I'm thinking about all these possible opportunities. I think the ideal thing would be to like be so good at melee that that like you don't. But I don't think that exists
Well, I
in the
mean,
game.
it's like, let's call it milking your lead, right? Like, because the eyes are on you already, the top players are finding a way to monetize their personality, and um, but what I think is that people shouldn't be tempted to do that just because top players are doing that. What they're trying to do is find a way that works for themselves. So Mango has all of his stuff. Hungrybox has stuff like Hot Ones because he loves eating. He loves talking to people, meeting people, and I think I'm liking Hungrybox a lot more because I'm seeing how he is, in his element where he's happy, and I like that. And I don't really watch that many other people's content, but I think it's just a matter of like how can I do what I like and make money. So some people are gonna be totally fine with just whatever job they have. Someone like Sammy, he doesn't really necessarily make content, but he found his niche.
Yeah.
He's a
And
teacher, and he's
yeah,
a lot
I
more low
think.
key.
Yeah, and I think I might do something like that, or I might do both, and like, as much as like there might be a balance where like as long as, because like you might get a lot of haters. Even Mango gets. There's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So it is kind of exhausting, but if you can break past it, like maybe if I just block everyone who says something, and I stream, and like I think I could stream, I could teach. There's a lot of stuff I can do, and I might not. There is a possibility that I could make solo melee work, although that's obviously that's scary. So I'm not trying to do that right now. But like if I ever wanted to make the leap, then like I could. It wouldn't be one big income, but it would be several small incomes, and that'll work. So
Yeah. Yeah, whatever sustains you and makes you happy. I know for me as a married man, there's a lot of pressure for me to like make a lot of money as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're still young and you have the world ahead of you, and you're about to graduate college, which is really good, and you're a top player, so you got pretty decent trajectory, and I only wish the best for you.
Thanks, man. You too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, this has been an hour and a half, so I feel like we can stop the podcast. But you want to make any shout outs, anything you want to say to the people, anyone listening to this?
I guess the best thing is if you. I think the best thing for people to do is I don't want to say anything super cliche, but like
Say something
um
spark-like.
uh
Nut. I don't know. Nutches. I'm just kidding.
just do as like the best thing is for you to be happy with people question you or your choices as long as you can look at yourself and like be content with your decisions and stuff like that. That's infinitely more important because if you think that you're a good person and that what you've done is good, and the other thing is to believe in yourself and do your best and do things for the right reasons.
Mhm.
So whatever you want to do, whatever you're passionate about. So many people like want to be good at melee, but if there was no clout in melee, I feel like those people wouldn't want to be good at melee.
Mm.
And so I just do things for the right reasons because, well, on top of the fact that it doesn't seem like those people get very their motivation is like, I
Well, it
guess
cut out a bunch of times in
they,
that last sentence, but
oh,
it's okay.
I think well, those people's motivation, on top of the fact that those people's motivations fade quickly,
Mm-hmm.
Even if they manage to be successful doing it, I don't think they'd be happy in the long run. So I guess that's it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Zaid.
Well,
Dude, yeah, and again, good luck at Genesis. I'm really looking forward to watching you on stream if I can catch a stream. Wish luck to anyone from our region. You, Azel, Traplord, Jason, Xander, Vince, anyone else who's going from our region. And also to NorCal, Umar. Dude, Umar, 5th. That really made me happy.
yeah, he's like 85th in the world too, or something.
Yeah,
Too.
dude, I'm really excited for him. I know he's a really nice guy and has been grinding. Maybe I could have him on the podcast someday. I should ask him.
Yeah, he's probably down.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. I'm probably gonna go get lunch, and yeah.
Yeah, me too. All right, thanks. It was
All right, yeah.
fun.
All right, see you, Zaid.
Later.
Later.